What is up, everyone? Andrew Abbott with AA Fitness. What do you guys think of the shirt? I think it turned out pretty awesome for the first one. I do have some wristbands coming on the way as well, so I'm pretty excited about those. I'll let you all know when they arrive. But enough about me. Today we are going to talk about fat loss. I know the summer's coming up. A lot of people are trying to slim down, so I thought it would be a good topic to cover briefly. We're going to look at it from two different perspectives. First, from a nutritional standpoint, and also from a training perspective. So, before I do that, I just want to say there's no such thing as spot reduction when it comes to fat loss. And what I mean by this is you can't target certain areas of your body to lose fat. So doing a bunch of crunches is not going to just burn fat off your midsection. It's like an entire body process. So men tend to carry the most amount of fat in their midsection, whereas women are going to carry it in the hips and the thighs. So that's important to know. When you're trying to lose weight or burn fat, you might not necessarily see it in these areas as much initially, but it occurs throughout the whole body. So yeah, like I said, it's not just certain areas that you can target. So with that being said, let's move on to nutrition. So if you are trying to lose weight, burn fat, what should you be eating? Essentially, I mean, the rule you kind of want to follow is to reduce your carbohydrates and up your protein intake. So try to cut back on your grains, so your bread, your rice, pasta, and then also up your protein intake, your lean protein intake. So stuff like chicken, seafood, poultry, those are all good sources of lean protein. But yeah, like I said, reduce carbs, up your protein intake. It's important to know that, you know, when you're losing weight, the only way to really do it is to burn more calories than you are consuming in a given day. So if you are expending, let's say, 2,500 calories in one day, and you're consuming 2,500, then you're just going to maintain your current weight. So what you need to do is lower your caloric intake to about 200 to 300 calories less than what you would usually be consuming. And I'm not saying that you need to count your calories every single day, because that's just, in all honesty, that's too time consuming, and nobody wants to do that. But what you want to do is limit your portions. So take smaller portions than you normally would. It's also important to know that fat, I mentioned this in my nutrition video that I just did, 1 gram of fat has 9 calories in it, as opposed to carbohydrates and protein, which each have 4 calories per gram. So your fat intake is really going to add to your total caloric intake for the day. So I'm not saying you need to completely avoid fats, I'm just saying be smart about your fat intake. And last but not least, you want to cut out your carbohydrates a few hours before bed. I would say 2 to 3 hours before bed. This will give your body a chance to use up all the stored energy that it has in the form of glycogen while you sleep. It's kind of like, when you sleep, it's kind of like going on a mini fast. So essentially you're giving your body a chance to use up all the stored energy that it has without relying on any food intake. So that was just a real quick overview of nutrition. Now we're going to talk about training and what you want to do for that. So as far as your training goes, when you are trying to lose weight, reduce fat, you know, it's really not too much different from what you would be doing to build muscle. A lot of people think they just need to spend hours on the treadmill or any kind of cardio machine. And while this is good for you, it's good for your heart and everything, and it also helps with fat loss, you can burn a lot of calories just from your typical workout routine. So lifting weights, when it comes to your resistance training or your weight program, you're going to want to focus on compound movements, high rep ranges. Also use free weights, because those require much more muscle groups as opposed to machines, leading to more caloric expenditure. So focus on those things as part of your training program. Another thing you can try to incorporate is interval training. So what interval training is basically is doing back-to-back exercises without any rest in between. So they're usually they incorporate body weight into a lot of them, but it's basically designed to burn a lot of calories in a very short amount of time. So you can try to incorporate that as well if you're not a huge fan of cardio. Another thing I want to say about cardio is there are different ways to do cardio, different ways to approach it. You can do at a slow, steady pace, which a lot of people believe is better for preserving muscle. And while this is true, you're not going to burn as many calories as you would doing higher intensity, quicker paced cardio. But what I like to do personally is I like to mix them together. That way you can get your heart rate in between different heart rate zones, and it fluctuates, all while burning fat and getting a good cardio workout. So, you can do steady pace for, let's say, 2 to 3 minutes, and then increase the speed for about a minute, and then drop it back down. So by doing this, you're just causing your heart rate to increase and decrease, and you are burning a lot of fat in the process. So that's what I personally like to do. As far as machines go, treadmill works just fine. I'm a big fan of the Stairmaster. Stairmaster is great for your legs. Your legs will be burning after about 10 to 15 minutes on that thing. So if you have one of those in your gym, try it out. Now I'm just kind of rambling, so I think that's all I wanted to say about training. Covered nutrition already. If I missed something, if you have any remaining questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. If you liked the video, please be sure to like it, as well as the Facebook page. Check out the website. As always, you can hire me for online coaching or personal training. I'm done. Talk to you all later. Peace.